very good morning to all our viewers. You're watching Rajya Sabha television and I'm Smriti Rastogi with breakfast news. Let's get started with the top headlines of the day. India tells Pakistan Kulbhushan Jadhav's execution would be treated as premeditated murder after he was sentenced to death for spying and sabotage. Sixteen opposition parties urge Election Commission to revert to paper ballot system. Poll body to convene all-party meetings soon on the matter. India allies pledge to work unitedly to win 2019 Lok Sabha polls under Narendra Modi. PM asks partners to ensure trust of poor is not broken. By-polls to Anantnag postponed after widespread violence during Srinagar by-elections. Voting will be held on 25th of May. And 20% of military aircraft at Syrian Air Base destroyed in its attack, says US. Secretary of State heads to Moscow to discuss civil war and chemical attack. Sixteen opposition parties on Monday urged the Election Commission to revert to the paper ballot system, claiming the faith of people in the EVMs has eroded. Representatives of parties including Congress, BSP, DMK, Trinamool Congress and the left met top Election Commission officials to demand reintroduction of the paper ballot system. The parties also targeted the centre for failing to provide funds to the Commission to put in place sufficient number of voter-verified paper audit trail machines for the 2019 Lok Sabha polls. Senior Congress leader Kapil Sibal and DMK leader T. Shiva said that the Commission would soon convene an all-party meeting to further discuss the issue. In a memorandum to the Chief Election Commissioner, the delegation argued that it was incumbent upon the Election Commission to convince political parties of the fairness of the EVMs and allow the use of paper ballots till that was done. The delegation further cited recent alleged cases of malfunctioning of the EVMs, including the Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, to raise bona fide concerns of the possibility of manipulating the electoral outcome.
ईवीएम पे भरोसा था, विश्वास था जनता का या पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज का, राजनीतिक दलों का, वो विश्वास उठ गया है। इसलिए ईवीएम मशीन के बदले वापस वही जो पुराना सिस्टम था 1951-52 से, वही सिस्टम दोबारा से पेपर बैलेट का सिस्टम लागू करना चाहिए।
ये हम लोगों का विश्वास ईवीएम से हट गया है और ईवीएम फ्री एंड फेयर इलेक्शन तभी हो सकता है जबकि ईवीएम को हटा करके और बैलेट पेपर से इलेक्शन हो। ये हम लोगों ने डिमांड रखी।
इलेक्शन कमीशन कम से कम इतना माना कि हमारा तर्क बहुत सीरियस है और वो इस पर विचार करेंगे, ऑल पार्टी मीटिंग बुलाएंगे। हम चाहते हैं कि किसी तरह से आगे जो चुनाव होगा गुजरात, हिमाचल से लेके वो बैलेट पेपर से।
Till such a time when as long as VVPAT is equipped in all the EVMs, we suggested that we can go back to the ballot system, which would ensure the voter that his vote is not tampered or anything like that.
The by-election to Jammu and Kashmir's Anantnag constituency has been postponed to next month after the state witnessed unprecedented violence during Srinagar by-polls on Sunday. In an announcement late on Monday night, the Election Commission said that the Anantnag by-election, which was slated for Wednesday, will now be held on 25th of May, while the counting of votes will be held on 1st June. The Election Commission said it took the decision on the state government's inputs that law and order situation was not conducive to hold the polls. The Election Commission's decision came after the ruling PDP appealed for the postponement as the valley continued to simmer with unrest after Sunday's incidents. PDP expressed its reservations about conducting polls after two government schools designated as polling stations were set on fire in Shopian and Pulwama districts on Monday. Meanwhile, Congress and National Conference demanded J&K Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti's resignation for failing to ensure peaceful elections in the Kashmir Valley. Congress Vice President blamed the PDP-BJP government in the state over its total failure, saying decades of hard work to build trust in the democratic process in Kashmir was being reversed by the ruling government. The Lok Sabha by-polls in Srinagar witnessed turnout of only 7.14% on a day marred by violence, which left 8 people dead and hundreds injured.
तशद्दुद मुफ्ती तो कोई अकेला फैसला करने वाला नहीं हो सकता है ना। इसमें स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का अपना क्या व्यू है, इलेक्शन कमिश्नर का क्या व्यू है, और जब हम कह रहे हैं हमने पहले इस चीज का अलर्ट दिया था, अब आखिरी मरहले पर पहुंचने पर चुनाव डेफर करना मुनासिब नहीं है।
Law and order situation in Kashmir has reached the lowest ebb. Never before it had happened. Even at the peak of the atrocity, the terrorism in Kashmir, people in huge numbers came out and voted.
Moving on to some more developments, Opposition Congress on Monday forced 2 adjournments of Rajya Sabha proceedings in the pre-noon session over alleged misuse of ED and CBI against chief ministers of non-BJP parties. The government refuted all the allegations and slammed the members for causing obstruction. Here are more details.
As the upper house met for the day, Congress's Deputy Leader Anand Sharma alleged misuse of the ED and CBI against chief ministers of non-BJP ruled states. The Congress leader also sought suspension of business of the House under Rule 267 to take up a discussion over alleged blatant abuse of authority.
The enforcement agencies, the CBI, the ED, is being used for political vendetta, and that is something what we want to raise. We want to discuss.
No.
And sir, please allow me. The same state next to Delhi, in the state of Haryana, land has been given, Morni Hills has been given to one commercial entity in the name of a herbal park, and whose products are being advertised also being purchased by the government, parliament. That is the Patanjali.
Leader of opposition Ghulam Nabi Azad also joined ranks with Sharma on the issue and accused the BJP chief ministers of various wrongdoings.
Sir, this is a very important subject. We must have a discussion in this house. The BJP, the wrongdoings of the BJP chief minister. Nobody.
That you cannot discuss here.
The subject which Mr. Anand Sharma has raised, there should be a full-fledged discussion on the subject, so that everybody can participate.
Honorable LLP.
So the entire house can participate.
Okay.
The chair, however, disallowed the notice under Rule 267 and asserted that action should be discussed in the respective state assemblies, not in Parliament.
If there is wrongdoing by any chief minister, it has to be discussed in their assembly, not here, not here, not here, not here.
Unsatisfied with the chair's response, Congress and BSP members marched into the well of the House to raise a pitch against the government. And the government slammed the opposition as well for disrupting proceedings of the House.
I have a request to the chair that whether you ask them to go to their respective seats and then call the members so that the members also will have a free distance.
Protests by Congress and BSP members continued unabated, compelling the chair to briefly adjourn the House twice during 0 hour.
I would request you to please go back. I would request the Honorable LOP to request their members to go back. House is adjourned for 5 minutes.
Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And the government has informed the upper house that it will implement the Bharat Standard or BS6 emission norms by 2020. Union Minister Prakash Javadekar said the move will check rising levels of pollution in Delhi and other parts of the country.
The government has charted a roadmap to reduce vehicular pollution in the wake of rising levels of particulate matter in Delhi. Union Minister Prakash Javadekar told the House during question hour that a notification has been issued to switch to BS6 norms directly from BS4 norms by the 1st of April 2020.
We have already introduced BS4 for fuel so that there is less pollution. We are straight away going from BS4 to BS6 from 2020. So we have mandated, already issued notification, we have mandated all manufacturers to manufacture cars and vehicles compliant to BS6 norms.
Responding to another supplementary, Rural Development Minister Narendra Singh Tomar informed the House about the benefits unveiled for BPL families in the Northeast.
किसी भी गरीब को जो जरूरतमंद है उस जरूरतमंद तक सरकारी योजनाओं का लाभ पहुंचाएं.
Questions were also raised on thermal power plants in the water-scarce areas and the Bajaj Committee report to address the pending Krishna River water dispute between Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And Parliament passed the Constitution's Scheduled Caste Order Amendment Bill 2017 after the Rajya Sabha approved it on Monday. The Lok Sabha passed the bill on 23rd of March. The bill modifies the list of scheduled castes for Odisha. Two castes, Suhagiri and Swalagiri, will be now introduced as synonyms to the Savakia caste in the list of SCs for the state. The bill also seeks to modify the name of the Union Territory of Pondicherry to Puducherry.
1950 में मतलब उड़ीसा राज्य की जो अनुसूची बनी थी उसमें मतलब सबाखिया कास्ट जो 79 संख्या पर है उसके ही मतलब सब कास्ट सवालगिरी और जो सवालगिरी है तो उनका अंतर्भाव करने के लिए ये बिल है. उसके साथ साथ जो पांडिचेरी है तो पांडिचेरी का नाम पुदुचेरी होने के बाद मतलब वहाँ 1964 में जो शेड्यूल कास्ट की लिस्ट बनी थी उसका पांडिचेरी का नाम पुदुचेरी करने के लिए ये बिल है.
Meanwhile, the Lok Sabha on Monday approved Motor Vehicle Amendment Bill 2016 by a voice vote. The bill proposes hefty penalties for various traffic offences, a 3-year jail term for parents of minors caught driving and causing fatal accidents, and a 10-fold increase in the compensation for the families of the accident victims.
The Lok Sabha on Monday approved the Motor Vehicle Amendment Bill 2016. Road Transport and Highway Minister Nitin Gadkari said the bill seeks to save lives by imposing heavy penalties on traffic violators and protecting good Samaritans. Replying to the discussion on the bill, the minister said the bill aims to ensure 100% e-governance, check bogus driving licenses and vehicle theft.
ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस और वाहन रजिस्ट्रेशन के बारे में व्यापक सुधार करने के लिए हम सक्षम होंगे. ये विधेयक नागरिकों को सरलीकृत एवं उत्तम सेवाएं देने में सहायक होगा. ऑटोमेशन, कंप्यूटराइजेशन ये सब इसमें है.
The bill caps the maximum liability for third-party insurance in case of a motor accident at rupees 10 lakh in case of death and at rupees 5 lakh for grievous injury. The liability for the third-party insurer in motor vehicle accidents will be unlimited. Proposed penalty for drunk driving will be 5 times the current penalty that stands at rupees 10,000.
राज्यों के परिवहन क्षेत्र में सुधार लाने के लिए ग्रामीण शहरी परिवहन एवं लास्ट माइल कनेक्टिविटी में व्यापक परिवर्तन करने का मार्ग प्रशस्त होगा. सड़क दुर्घटनाओं के पीड़ित उनको तुरंत मुआवजा मिलेगा.
The bill was introduced on April 7 in the Lok Sabha. It amends the Motor Vehicles Act 1988 to address issues like third-party insurance, regulation of taxi aggregators and road safety. The Union Cabinet approved changes in the Motor Vehicles Amendment Bill 2016 on March 31st. With Ravindra Sheoran, Pranav Goswami's report for RSTV.
And time for a very short break. More national and international news on the other side. Stay tuned.
Renowned economist Amartya Sen needs no introduction. Recipient of the Nobel Prize for Economics in 1998, Sen has always shown a keen interest in the problems of the underprivileged. He has made immense contributions to the discipline of welfare economics and social choice theory, and his books have been translated into more than 30 languages. In 2010, Amartya Sen was listed among the world's 50 most influential people who matter.
Welcome back. A Pakistani military court has awarded death sentence to Kulbhushan Jadhav over allegations of spying. Reacting to the development, India summoned Pakistan High Commissioner Abdul Basit. Issuing a demarche, Foreign Secretary S. Jaishankar said, and I quote, "If this sentence against an Indian citizen awarded without observing basic norms of law and justice is carried out, The government and people of India will regard it as a case of premeditated murder, unquote. India has also decided against releasing a dozen Pakistani prisoners who were to be repatriated after completion of their prison term. Pakistani Defence Minister Khwaja Asif said that the sentence should serve as a warning to those plotting against the country. India has acknowledged Jadhav as a retired Indian Navy officer but denied the allegations that he was in any way connected to the government. India has maintained that the proceedings that have led to the sentence are farcical in the absence of any credible evidence against him. Also, the Indian High Commission was not informed that Jadhav was being brought to trial. Amnesty International has reacted to the sentence, saying, and I quote, "The death sentence given to Kulbhushan Jadhav shows yet again how Pakistan's military court system rides roughshod over international standards," unquote.
अभी पूरी चीज का जांच होने तो उसके बाद बात करें।
आज हमें निश्चित तौर पर पाकिस्तान को सख्त से सख्त कार्रवाई करने की तैयारी करनी चाहिए और आज फिलहाल चेतावनी देनी चाहिए कि यदि यादव को फांसी दिया जाएगा तो फिर परिणाम पाकिस्तान के लिए बहुत बुरे होंगे।
India should take immediate action both at the United Nations and take it across the globe to make it an issue that Indians cannot be hung by a rogue establishment.
मेरा ख्याल है ये गलत निर्णय है और भारत और पाकिस्तान के संबंध वैसे भी अच्छे नहीं हैं और इस तरह के फैसले से और संबंध बिगड़ेंगे।
सर अत्यंत दुर्दैवी हा प्रकार आहे आणि मला असं वाटतं आपल्या सरकारने अगदी जरूर पडली तर टोकाची भूमिका घेऊन कुलभूषणवरती अन्याय होत असेल तर त्यांना वाचवायला पाहिजे।
And setting their sight on the 2019 Lok Sabha polls, top NDA leaders met on Monday. They pledged to work unitedly to win a second term under Prime Minister Narendra Modi and asserted his strong leadership was required for India's progress. Leaders of 33 NDA constituents participated in the meet. They adopted a resolution endorsing Modi's leadership and his government's policies while resolving to strengthen the alliance by expanding its base. Addressing the media after the meet, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley said that the NDA members met to work on their strategy for the future. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi talked about New India and youth development. He emphasized that Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana should not be neglected and public's trust should be upheld. And the NDA's expansion is a positive aspect. This is the second such meeting of the Bharatiya Janata Party with his coalition partners since Prime Minister Modi was sworn in 2014.
The resolution has several features. It discusses the recent assembly election results and it points out to the fact that the popularity of the NDA continues to strengthen as far as the entire country is concerned. It expresses its deep sense of appreciation for the very decisive and the bold leadership that the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi has provided to the NDA.
India is only the country which is going to grow double-digit growth, not China, not any other country. That is possible only with Narendra Modi's leadership. It is also very clear. Because we need strong leadership, then only things will happen.
And India and Australia came together on Monday to call for cooperation among the nations. On the second day of his 4-day visit to India, Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull indicated his country's resolve to join the India-led International Solar Alliance and agreed to supply uranium to India. At his summit meeting in Delhi with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Turnbull spoke of the need for both the nations to take their relations to a new level. The talks between the leaders also focused on the supply of high-quality coal.
India and Australia signed 6 deals, including one to boost counter-terrorism after talks with visiting Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull and Prime Minister Narendra Modi at Hyderabad House on Monday. Both nations also agreed to enhance cooperation in civil aviation security, environment, wildlife, sports and medicine. Implementation arrangement between ISRO and Geoscience Australia on cooperation in Earth observation and satellite navigation was also signed. The two leaders held comprehensive discussions on bilateral, regional and international issues of mutual interest and concern.
Our flagship joint research fund, the Australia-India Strategic Research Fund, is Australia's largest with any country, and it's helped our universities, research institutions and companies to solve the practical challenges in critical areas to both countries, including health, food security and energy, as you've noted. But there's room for further growth. We've worked closely with India to meet our respective requirements for the provision of fuel for India's civil nuclear program.
Our future is deeply tied to peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific. We therefore agree on the need for a secure and rule-based Indo-Pacific. I would also like to thank Prime Minister for Australia's decision to join the International Solar Alliance.
Earlier in the day, the Australian Prime Minister was accorded a ceremonial welcome at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. He also called on External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj and visited Rajghat. Turnbull arrived in India on Sunday on his first visit after assuming office in 2015.
Australia deciding to join International Solar Alliance launched by India is a signal of political convergence between the two countries. And also, since Australia has decided to give uranium to India, it shows that in business also they are trusting to each other. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Sabha Television with camera person Shiv Kumar in Delhi.
And a look at all the latest developments from around the country and nationwide. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that over 75% of villages along the banks of River Ganga have become open defecation free. The villages are in Uttarakhand, UP, Bihar, Jharkhand and West Bengal. He has emphasized that his government has taken up this work on priority. Indian and Chinese troops held border personnel meetings on the occasion of Harvest Festival along the line of actual control in Ladakh sector of Jammu and Kashmir. The centre has informed the Supreme Court that it has stepped in to resolve the decades-old contentious issue of Sutlej-Yamuna link canal between Punjab and Haryana. Attorney General Mukul Rohatgi informed the court that a meeting has been called on 20th of April by the centre, which has invited the two states of Punjab and Haryana to resolve the issues. On to some international developments. 2 adults and a child have been killed in a shooting in a classroom of a primary school in San Bernardino, California. The shooting happened at 10:30 a.m. local time at North Park Elementary School in San Bernardino. The 53-year-old gunman, Cedric Anderson, gained entry to the school as a visitor. He then entered the classroom where his estranged wife was teaching 15 children with special needs. Cedric Anderson then shot and killed his wife and wounded 2 children who were behind her. The shooter then turned the gun on himself and killed himself. One of the injured children was later airlifted to hospital but died. The other child was admitted to the pediatric surgery service and is stable. Police chief described the incident as a suspected murder-suicide case. Up to 600 students of the school were transferred to nearby Kejon High School, where they were later met with their parents.
Cedric entered the classroom and, from what we understand, without saying anything, armed with a large caliber revolver, opened fire on his wife. She was killed in that exchange. There are 2 students in the classroom that were behind the teacher that were struck by gunfire.
The US has said that its cruise missile strike against a Syrian air base destroyed 20% of the military's aircraft. The US had fired 59 cruise missiles at Shayrat Air Base last Thursday, following a suspected chemical attack in Syria a day before. US Defense Secretary James Mattis, while revealing the details of the destruction caused, also gave a warning to Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, saying Syria would be ill-advised ever again to use chemical weapons. Syria has denied a chemical attack on the rebel-held town of Khan Sheikhoun last week that left 89 people dead. But US insists that the Syrian government was responsible and that its ally Russia also knew of it. Meanwhile, G7 nations are meeting in Italy from today with a two-day meeting of foreign ministers in Lucca, aiming to hammer out a unified approach to the Syrian conflict. It will also look at the possibility of imposing sanctions on Russia. Parallelly, US Secretary of State Rex Tillerson also heads to Moscow today, where he will discuss with his Russian counterpart the Syrian civil war and the alleged chemical weapons attack here.
The sight of people being gassed and blown away by barrel bombs ensures that if we see this kind of action again, we hold open the possibility of future action. The resulting action of what happened ensured that their fueling operation is gone from this air facility. 20% of their fixed-wing aircraft were destroyed and knocked out. And I think by all measures, the world and domestic reaction was highly laudable for the President's action.
And that's all we have for you in this edition of Breakfast News. Keep watching Rajya Sabha television.